Fruit galette, my emergency dessert solution. First of all, we're going to make a simplest pastry, and you do not need to be pastry proficient to make it. Also, this is the best way to use up a glut of seasonal fruit. Simplest pastry ever. Flour, super cold butter that I cubed and put back in the fridge to be extra cold, some sour cream, a little bit of sugar, and some lemon zest. I'm going to make it all in the mixer, and it's going to come together really quickly. So let's just zest our lemon, the butter, and the sugar, and I've got a pinch of salt in there already with the flour, and let it just come together. You want it to be like sand. You still want to see chunks of butter in the dough. It's going to make it super flaky. No mixer, no problem. I literally work the butter in very quickly with my fingertips into the flour, mix it all together, and you're done. You can still see there's quite big chunks of butter in there, and that's what you want. Gonna add 150 grams of sour cream, and it's just gonna start to come together to form a dough. You do not want to overmix. At this point, to bring it together, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of ice cold water. You may need to add a third tablespoon depending on the thickness of your sour cream. You want it so that it sticks, just like that. Just going to do this final mix, bring it together with my hands so it just forms a dough. So take about half the dough, make it a sort of round disc. It will make it easier when you go to roll it. Wrap it up. Nice and tight. Give it one extra knead and pop them in the fridge. I'm using apricots today. Some toasted pistachios for crunch. Some lemon juice, some sugar, because even though the apricots are in season, they're sometimes a little tart. Pop them in this bowl. Some blueberries. I'm going to add some sugar. Just a bit to sweeten up this fruit. A little vanilla. So I'm using the lemon, just eke all the juice out of the fruit. And give it all a stir around. I'm also going to add some pistachios here. And I'm just going to very roughly chop them. You could use a knife, but I like doing it this way. There you go, and I'm going to save the rest to sprinkle on top. Here's my galette dough from earlier. It's had about 30 minutes in the fridge, which is just enough time for it to chill and relax, like me. And I'm going to lightly flour my work surface. So just roll it and keep moving it round, and you'll roll it into a disc. And you can see all of the flecks of butter from the dough that are in here. I'm folding it up because I'm going to move it and put it onto my tray in this shape. And I'm going to try and get the point as centered on my piece of parchment as possible, and then open it back out. And now I'm going to pile in the middle because it's going to shrink as it cooks. I'm going to sprinkle on my last few reserved pistachios so that they are crunchy on the top too. So just gently bring it in here to the middle. And don't worry about these edges because, as you can see, they'll all just come over each other. I'm going to egg wash. You can use a whole egg, but I used the white for something else and saved the yolk for this. You want to work quite quickly here. You don't want to this isn't the moment to multitask. You want to get this done and in the oven so that the pastry doesn't get too warm. A little sprinkle just for sweetness and extra crunch on the crust. This will cook at 200, which is quite a hot oven, for about 30 to 35 minutes. Fruit galette, my emergency dessert solution, right here. It's cool enough to cut. Let's have a taste. No soggy bottom here. Always better with a dollop of creme fraiche. Fancy a slice? You know you want some. And one for the magic behind the camera. Be rude not to try some, right? Try not to spill. Yum.